Welcome to Bonded in Darkness. I don't know why my mind read Bonded as boned, but with this type of game, I think it might lead to that, as this is I believe, an enemies to lovers, boys love vampire story. So, very interesting. So, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of boning. Maybe a bit of blood drinking as well, but without further ado, we will start a new game. A metallic sound rings out as the blade of my sword clashes against my opponent. Playing without weapons has become as familiar to me as the chimes on my own grandfather clock. Likewise, the sword fight feels more like carrying out the motions of a recipe than the life or death battle it is ought to be. We know each other's ticks and tells too well. Dodge is little more than a quick measurement. Parry the same as a pinch of spice. I'm sure there's going to be spice later. Be gone. You are not welcome here. You're not welcome in this land. And more of these battles than I can count. Fight to the death, yet somehow we always both live to fight again. Train blues, we each stand back, take the opportunity to examine my opponent. Not much worse for wear. Parts of his shirt torn, blood staining the fabric. But I've clearly given him flesh wounds, barely breathing more heavily, not even close to being tired out. Too evenly matched. All that said about vampiric strength, Julian is a swordsman per excellence. If he weren't so single-mindedly devoted to killing me, he'd be an asset to the Royal Army. What can I do to convince you to leave me be? As always, I plead with him, yet nothing one of the motions. You know the punishment of your crimes is death. He carries out his own role too, never faulting. Even as we speak, we begin circling each other again, waiting for an opportunity. Part of me finds Julian's determination admirable, but most of me is just irritated. No point in making my case to him. Done it so many times, nothing I've ever come up with could convince him that I was worth killing a second time. Don't even think I could blame him. Not really. But I do not intend to go down with that fight. I'll keep fighting, no matter how tedious it gets, as long as it means I can live another day. He lunges towards me. I move to parry his strike, continuing the familiar dance between us. Duel ended the same way all the others did, with a complete stalemate. This time, he was the one to retreat, vowing to come back and kill me. After some time without his presence, I began to settle back into my routines, everyday ones that didn't involve sword fighting. Tonight, I'm reading in the Manor Lounge, accompanied by the sounds of thunderstorm outside. The rest of the storm is just far enough away to be only a low rumble in the distance. Heavy rain pelts the window panes as I turn the pages of the book. Funnily enough, it's a novel about a vampire. Hopefully not Twilight. Don't normally seek out these stories, but they can be amusing. These authors usually get at least a few things wrong, though sometimes I read one that makes me wonder if the writer was a vampire themselves. The particular book isn't one of those, however. As the vampire heroine turns into a swarm of bats, I hear a strange noise in the direction of the manor's front door. First, I think little of it. There are many noises one can hear during a thunderstorm. It serves me a little to jump at the smallest sound. But it comes again. And again. And again. Someone is pounding on a door. Why? I place my book aside and get up, moving toward the sound. Look through the door hole and see what's outside. Before I can think it through anymore, I open the door forcefully. Julie, what the hell are you doing here? Normally, the answer to that question would be self-evident, but not now. He's more pitiable state than I'd ever seen him. Deeply injured and covered in blood. His own, I assume. Lays on the ground, barely able to support himself, enough to lift up his own torso. Do you think? Voice, while cutting as usual, is strained. Who did this to you? Does it matter? If you're not going to help me, then just close the door and leave me to die. No need to drag this out. Look down at him. It's an opportunity I never thought I'd have. If I close the door, I'll finally be free. No longer will I have to deal with the constant threat of being attacked by him. I can finally be left alone. So why am I hesitating? I need to make a decision, and quickly. Well, Gee, I should close the door on him. Now we're gonna bring him inside for the sake of the story. Look at him in this state. Can't kill him like this. I simply can't just leave him to die. Kneel down to pick him up. So you do have a conscience. Quiet. You're weak enough without wasting your energy talking. He seems irritated, and I don't think I can blame him. He says nothing more. I take Julian inside my home, rainwater and blood dripping from his body onto the wooden floor. I reckon with the decision I made. Tell myself that it would have been unsportsmanlike to just stab him outside. That we've spent so long fighting on equal footing, that would be unfair to simply take him down like that. Take her to the nearest guest room. It's a bit of a misnomer, as I've never had guests in it, or any of the others, but presumably that's what the previous residents used the rooms for. Not the most pleasant space to be in, given how dusty everything is, but it has a bed. And just in time too, Julian falls unconscious the moment we enter. Turn down on the mattress and begin to remove Julian's shirt. What's left of it. Without the fabric in the way, I can get a better look at the extent of his injuries. Time to make a meal! Sorry, wrong timing on that. Just seems to be one of those days here. They're awful. Deep gushing gashes across his chest and stomach and arms. Even I never left any wounds like this on a human. Who did this to you? Julian is predictably silent. Was it another vampire? Why is there so much anger in my voice? If I can let my emotions calm my judgment even further, take a moment to settle myself, start to calmly treat Julian's injuries. It's certainly a challenge. I know a little bit of first aid, mostly remnants from my human life, but I'm no doctor. Why would he come to me for this? Was there really nobody else who could possibly help? Despite everything, though, I make progress. Eventually, I'll stop the bleeding and dress the wounds with all the bandages I found in storage. I'll have to be good enough. Clean the area and Julian himself, as best I can. Though the sheets are ruined, I suppose I'll have to replace them. Soon I am left to simply observe as he rests, now covered in bandages. Breathing is steadier, less strained, although I know well that anything could happen. Well, anything could still happen at this point. Strangely, the first thought that enters my mind is how beautiful he looks. He is not attacking me. He makes for a pleasant sight. Flickering candlelight complements his warm hair and skin, highlights the freckles dotting his face and shoulders. Looks more peaceful than I've ever seen, than I ever imagined he could be. The one feature that mars him is one I recognize well, a scar crossing his lip. I know he didn't have it when we first encountered each other, because I was the one who gave it to him. Feels strange, knowing that this man has a permanent reminder of me on his face. Oh, I'm sure we can make other reminders. Oh my god, what's with me today? Almost as if we somehow tied together. I think the bloody sheets are impairing my judgment. You sure about that? Usually doesn't get bad until I need a fee, but he did lose a lot of blood. Even Vampire would have a hard time thinking completely straight in this situation. Well, good thing we're not straight, eh? I should clean up the rest of the house before I do something else I'll regret. However, even for a vampire, cleaning blood off a wooden floor is hardly riveting work. Further dragged out by the fact that I made sure to pop into the guest room every few minutes to make sure that Julian hadn't died. He's alive. He'll be fine. It becomes just a little more real each time I check. When running around the manor, I also take the time to look for clothes to replace Julian's ruined ones. Basically, I managed to find a selection of scattered pieces that, while not identical, are extremely similar. Soon after I finished cleaning up the last of the mess on the floor, noticed the daytime was rapidly approaching. Normally I would be asleep well before this point. Instead, I make sure that the curtains of the guest room are fully closed, so no sunlight can get in, and settle down in a chair next to the bed, novel I was reading in hand. I opened the book to where I left off. Her transforms into a swarm of bats, each going in different directions to seek out her prey. What's wrong with you? Huh? I opened my eyes in confusion. Wait, why were my eyes closed? You weren't so weak right now, I could have killed you right then and there. Who the hell sleeps in front of the enemy? Well, how about we sleep with the enemy, eh? Other than you? Extenuating circumstances. Right. Julian sits up as best as he can. Though his movements are slow, he ends up lopsidedly leaning on a pair of pillows. I should probably tell him not to overexert himself, but I don't think he'll listen to me. And really, it's just my own self-insert that his recovery is prolonged as much as possible. Just going to go back to making attempts on my life as soon as he can. This is not a very good plan on my part. Now that both of us are awake, I'm at a loss. Should I talk to him? What should I say? Yeah, why come to me? Been waiting on me this entire time. Doesn't make sense. He had no way of knowing that I would just kill him on the spot. Julian says nothing for a long while. Soon there is no intention of answering me. But then he mumbles something I can't quite make out. Huh? I don't have anyone else. Just you? Or just you? That doesn't make sense. As a doctor in town, it would have been easier to drag yourself there than here. Might not need a doctor anymore, but my excursions in the town in order to feed have taught me a little bit about how the place is laid out. No. I'm not welcome in town. Looks away from me, a strangely vulnerable look in his eyes. I lost for less than a second before he steels himself into the sternness. Can't help but wonder if I was only imagining it. You're not? Do humans like vampire hunters? Why wouldn't Julian be allowed in town? Don't ask those questions, however. Get the feeling that he's already told me something he didn't want to part with. No point in pushing my luck. So, I didn't have any options, truly. So I preferred near certain death to certain death. It appears to have paid off for me. And that's one way to think about it. I was put in the same situation where I had to choose between definitely dying alone or probably dying to Julian's blade. Would I do the same? I would pick Julian. He's right. What's the better that way end? Suddenly Julian hisses, grabbing his bandaged side. Damn it. Lay down and go back to sleep. Gotta overexert yourself if you're not careful. Not even doing anything. Not even a doctor. You shouldn't get to talk to me like that. Well, you thought I would be a good enough doctor that you could come to me instead. You don't get to change your mind now. Grumble some more insults at me before settling back down. Despite how annoyed he is, he's remarkably pliant. Didn't know how you'd expect it to sleep like this. Like what? In pain in an unfamiliar bed with you watching. I suppose I can sympathize with him a bit. It's been some time since I needed to rest in an unfamiliar area, but it's hardly pleasant. The least I could do is try to help him out. I will believe, because that's clearly something he wants me to do. Though when my presence is unwanted, whatever comfort my friend provided me must be outweighed by his distaste for my existence. Then call for me if you need anything. So I pick up my book and turn away to leave. A strange expression on Julian's face catches my eye. Is he disappointed? I wonder if he's feeling lonely, but I can't provide the companionship he would want. Well, if you don't want me to leave, then don't fucking say gotta use your words. While Julian's asleep, I have to begin planning some of the other aspects of our cohabitation. First to come to mind is food, as I don't need to eat over my residence in this home. I haven't felt the need to stockpile any. It's all perfectly well and good for a vampire whose sole nutritional requirement is to drink blood once a month, but yeah, I wish I could do that once a month instead of, bleeding out of my once every month instead. I'd much rather drink blood than bleed it. Doubt my guest will appreciate not being able to eat actual food during his recovery. Sign, place a hand against my forehead. Mention this is going to be such a hassle. Would I agree to help him out again? I felt lonely. It was the honourable thing to do. Right. Would have been undignified to just let him die. What does dignity mean for me anymore? I have no friends. I don't have acquaintances. Just like our dear old buddy human being. The only person I have any kind of regular contact with it at all is Julian. He would be too dead to have opinions on that matter. The more I tell myself that it's about honour and dignity, the more the explanation rings hollow. Before long, we enter into a routine that I never could have predicted before that night. Not in the least, because first time in years, I have to gather and prepare food. Dinners I make are hardly fine dining, mostly hunted meat and gathered items, plus bread I pilfered from a merchant caravan, but these seem to satisfy him. Not sure whether to be grateful that he's accepted my meagre attempts at cooking, or angry that his standards are apparently that low. First, Julian spends most of his day and night sleeping, only short interludes where we converse with each other. Most of his conversations are unfruitful. He's still closed off from me, and I have also have a little interest in sharing information he could use against me. Yet there are still a few that are almost cordial. Ooh, those are some stick-looking clothes. What's with the decor? Julian isn't as weak now. He can easily sit up on his own. Doesn't seem to be in as much pain when he moves. His restlessness has manifested and attempts to annoy me with frivolous questions. Is there something wrong with it? It just doesn't seem like the kind of stuff a vampire would put up. How am I even supposed to respond to that? Isn't it technically... These are all from the previous inhabitants. What I did was take down the portraits. Julia's eyes narrow. I see a glimmer of righteous anger sparking within them. The previous inhabitants? There was a terrible plague several years ago. The entire family died, leaving no heirs. You can look up the official records in the city if you doubt my word. Coroner would have noticed that the corpses had vampire markings. Other inhabitants of the city were too superstitious to reclaim the home, so I did it for them. Prayer more chatting. Perhaps accusing me of creating the plague, or saying I desecrate the family's memory, or simply calling me a liar. Frankly, he does none of that. I don't know what to make of his lack of reaction. I understand him less the more we talk. This is much easier when all of our interactions happen with swords drawn. But it isn't long before Julian is back on his feet. His first steps are wobbly as he spent so much time in bed recuperating, but he can now walk slowly around the house unaided. Still isn't in any condition to fight. I could take him down easily if he tried. But it begs the question, how long is this going to last before we're back to attacking each other? Julian isn't going to back down that easily, is he? What are you doing with that knife? Not a sword, but you could still do some damage with it if we were more coordinated. Actually, being uncoordinated might be even more dangerous. What do you think I'm doing with it? I mean, you're gonna cut something with it? I mean, that's what you do with a knife. That is one of the things people generally do with knives. Alongside stabbing, slicing, filleting. But why would you need to cut anything? I don't know, you're the one who decided I need to cut something just because I was looking at a knife. You asked me to guess, so I guessed. One day, as I prepared to make dinner for him, he stops me on the way to the kitchen, a determined look on his face. Something's been bothering me about you. Other than the usual things. Charlie crosses his arms and rolls his eyes at me, apparently not seeing my quip as something worth addressing verbally. Just curious about why you haven't... Oh no. I don't even know why I haven't tried killing him yet. How can I even begin to explain it? It's, complicated. Tried to have your way with me. Okay, that's a different story. I mean, if you want to do it now, we can. And wait, what? I haven't been given 100 years to come up with every way that sentence could have ended. I never would have thought of that. Not as subtle as you think you are. Subtle about... Pressing his palm against his face. Pain he's experiencing clearly isn't physical. You want me, and you could have had me if you tried, but you haven't. So that you think I'm still too weak to fuck or what? Get straight to the point. I like you. You're definitely my type of man. I only stand there slack-jawed where this conversation has gone. Just going to make him dinner and now this? Yeah, I'm guessing he's the type that takes you out for dinner first and then takes you home and fucks you. Hey, what? You're me. You have to be aware of that, right? Maybe. I think as tonight, it'd be too easy. I won't even be lying. I don't want him in the exact way he thinks I do. But that doesn't mean I can't yearn. When I dive into my memories, events I wanted to forget for so long, I can feel everything vividly. The young man I was not much more than a boy. My naivety, whatever that word is, my desperation to feel wanted in any way, a man who was once upon a time my closest friend. And death to us part and all that shit. Cause I definitely died of something. Happiness, as short-lived as it was, and betrayal, and the despair, and the bloodlust. Oh, we're definitely going to be feeling some kind of lust tonight, aren't we? All that is too much for right here and right now. I can't even begin to explain it out loud. I think you have misunderstood some things about me. Have I? I don't want anyone in a specific way you're insinuating. I never have. I see your face in my dreams. I keep lingering on how the candlelight hits your eyes. But I can't imagine spending these nights with anyone other than you. You're so cute. These feelings are too mammoth, too intimidating to give a voice to. It's for the best that I keep them a secret. They would only lead me to ruin again. That doesn't mean. No, don't bother. Julian cuts me off tersely. Expression is inscrutable. Strange event for someone who's wearing his emotions so plainly. Wait for him to explain, but he doesn't. Suppose that's a sign that he just wants dinner. Not surprised, he was only propositioning me. I have more or less rejected him, right? I'll get started on the food. Alright, do you need any help? What? No, you can barely stand for 3 minutes at a time. Just rest. Ending's dinner is remarkably awkward, even considering the general circumstances that led us here. Suspect that Julian was expecting a very different resolution to the day than I gave him. Quieter than I would expect. Surely he can't be that distraught over not betting me. Eventually, I decided there's little point in staying around to watch a grown man eat a mediocre sandwich in sullen silence. Sure, we would like him to be eating something else. I really do. I really need to stop. I need help. Try to the sitting room. Perhaps I can finally finish that damned book. Or perhaps, given my luck with it, there'll be another crisis needing my attention as soon as I turn the page. Or I can get very extra sleepy and have a nap. A crisis to be seen so far. For a few minutes I lean back and fully relax, letting the story take me along its winding journey. But as the hero prepares to kill his sire, suddenly feels strangely ill. All human feeling that I thought would have died when I did. The book must truly be cursed. Only bad things happen to me when I read it. Be glad when I'm finished, finally reach the end. Once again set the bookmark and put the book aside. But as I'm about to stand up, I notice Julian is staring down at me. Can I help you? Not really. I see. How long have you been standing there? Wasn't keeping track. Helpful. Could have gone here as soon as I did. We could have arrived less than a minute ago. But this is a strange situation. Not too long ago, if Julian suddenly appeared in front of me, it would mean the start of a life-or-death battle. Now it's merely a mild annoyance. I think we need to clear the air about a few things. Do we? Haven't we done enough air clearing already? The conversation was embarrassing enough to have once. I'd rather not relegate it. It's not about that. Tom did this to me. Ah, right. Because this is a different time where being gay means being stoned to death and all that. Right. I forgot that was a time in history. Jesus first one of his still bandaged wounds into a smaller one that's closed up enough to be visible on his skin, and it's way to become a new scar. Guards rounded up a bunch of people to take me to the woods, and they tried to kill me, but they didn't succeed. Obviously. Doesn't mean they couldn't rough me up. Also, obviously. Now you were dying to ask me. Why the hell would they do that? Doesn't make sense. It's a vampire hunter. Vampire hunters are respected, aren't they? Something humans would do to vampires, not hunters. Unless they don't align with society's, what they consider normal. Unless... must have an obvious expression on my face, because Julian shushes me before I can say anything else. No, I didn't get turned. I am completely human. Unley shuddered. Knew it was unlikely, but reality didn't matter much to them. You know that much as anyone. The only reason you can live here peacefully is because the townspeople think you control plagues, isn't it? You're rather perceptive when you're not trying to stab me. Yes, they don't want me to wipe out the rest of their town the way they think I wiped out the family. As long as I feed in secret and don't kill anyone, I'm relatively safe. Not completely safe, primarily because of the man in front of me. So they thought you were a vampire. Why? Here Julian looks away from me, expression one that I've never seen from him. Do you keep up with the Hunter's Guild here? Not habitually. These assigned hunters that kill specific vampires. Ones who are a danger to the community, who are killed and will continue to kill. Initially I was assigned to kill you. As time went on without you dying or killing, we're taken off the assignment roster. Not just mine, the whole guild's. Furious, yelled at the guildmaster for whatever that was, of duty or some shit like that. Insisted that you were still a danger. Nothing I said did a damn thing to change their mind. When the time came to move on to my next target, I just didn't. Went straight to you instead. That's the time I tried putting traps around the path between here and the town, if you remember. I do. I think you are overestimating how much I get out of the house. Clearly. Were you this much of a hermit before you got turned? I can see his face, betrayers, in my mind. Shoot a face away before I can say something I'll regret. No, but my past is irrelevant. We're going on a walk just around the river, so I don't expect to find any traps. Maybe you'll be surprised. Have fun. I'll be in bed by the time you get back. As I walk alongside the riverbed, faint pinpricks of a telltale sensation stir within me. Hunger. Not the hunger humans have for food, but the hunger a vampire has for blood. Bone deep and bestial. They're distinctly different, for as long as it's been since I'd been hungry in a human sense. Remember the feeling vividly. Blood hunger is so different it barely resembles it. Human in the throes of hunger will shrivel and die. Vampire in the throes of hunger will die too, but not quietly. 3 times before I get to that point, but the sooner I can feed, the better. A normal course of action is to cloak myself, go to town and secretly feed off of someone there. If I get in and out unseen, it's as if I was never there. And now I have a perfectly suitable human specimen residing in my own home. There's no way he'd ever willingly let me feed off of him. For a moment I considered killing Julian before the bloodlust forces my hand. I could probably do it. Yet, as soon as the idea comes to me, my mind instantly regrets it. I don't need him dead. I need him out. How can I drive him away? Simply be as annoying as possible. Amusing as the idea is, I suspect it would be simply end in Julian killing me out of exasperation. I could hardly blame him. I could pretend to attack him. No, he would just retaliate. I need a plan that won't end in my own death. Don't think I'm going to come up with one tonight, however. Certainly not out here. Cool breeze chills me as I make my way back home. My body temperature is already cold by nature. This weather hardly helps. Being undead doesn't make freezing comfortable. In contrast, when I enter the manor, the air inside feels warm, hospitable. The contrast of it reminds me of why I so rarely leave. There are no spaces out there for me anymore. Those human settlements and vampire colonies would kill me on sight. Vampires are anathema to humans. Vampires who willingly kill their sires are anathema to vampires. I've been extremely lucky to be able to carve out the existence I have. And as long as Julie is staying here, that existence is in danger. I can afford to take him in, but surely this situation isn't completely unsalvageable. No point in ruminating like this. If I'm going to come up with anything useful, then I might as well do something I enjoy. Simply reach for the book I've been reading, and I keep getting interrupted in, but stop before I can pick it up. The book is not cursed, I know that. That might as well be. I'm sure that nothing good will happen if I try to finish it. So I go to my bedroom to peruse the rest of my collection. It contains a variety of tomes. Ones are well-worn and long-loved. Ones I read exactly once and never again. Ones that have yet to be touched after I tamed them. Now which do I want to spend time with? While I finger over a set of spines, it seems to gravitate towards one particular novel. So I let it come to me. The Hunter's Scheme. How ironic. Or perhaps prescient. Huh? Before I can express shock at the intrusion, a violent pain stabs through my chest. Look down and see the sharp end of a stake emerging from me. Well, rip. A foolish man. He isn't even satisfying to kill you like this. Anything I could say in response is snuffed out by my own weakness, like weakening life force. But this is how it ends. Not with a grand fight, but with a quiet backstabbing. And just immediately ends. Great. Okay, I'm gonna have a quick playthrough again, just because I want to get a better ending than that. Okay, let's ask who did this to you. How did you end up like that? Like what? Severely injured? Far enough for me to know that it would take someone or something extremely powerful and harm you to that extent. Looks at the wall in the opposite direction I am. None of your business. Well, that was enlightening. Maybe if I go about it a different way. Is whatever did that to you something I would have to worry about too? turns his head and stares into my eyes, chilling his gaze. Think I would tell you that? Julian looks away, breaking our eye contact. Can be torn apart too, for all I care. Suddenly Julian hisses and grabs. Okay, yeah, that didn't go well. Okay, but we're gonna ask what he needs. And what can I do? Looks at me strangely. I never expected it wasn't that. What do you mean, what can you do? This time, I'm the one who looks strangely at him. What was so confusing about my question? To help you sleep, so you can stop wasting your energy talking back at me. So if I say I need you to sing me a lullaby, don't test your luck. Spoil sport. Winces, not at me for once. Been too long since I've had a real conversation. Probably a bit rusty at it. That's strange. Isn't he part of the Hunters Guild? Thought they were all pretty friendly with each other. Maybe he's just exaggerating. That would make two of us then. My rusty partner is better than nothing. Being alone, it makes me itchy. Just keep talking to me until I fall asleep. Then I'll be out of your hair. Well, alright. Not the request I expected. Both get to be surprised tonight, apparently. If I'm telling the truth, I don't mind this. Never extremely outgoing, even as a human, but the only conversation I've had in the past few years have been Julian and I yelling at each other, interspersed by the rare lost traveller on my doorstep. This could be a refreshing change of pace. What do you want me to talk about? I don't know. Surely you have some kind of hobby. You spend all your time staring at walls, do you? No, nothing that dreadfully boring. I enjoy reading. Oh, I see. Don't stare at walls, you stare at paper. I hate that he isn't wrong. You don't have to say it like that. I know, I'm just giving you a hard time. Never had been a big reader, but there are a couple of books I like. What are they? Perhaps I have read them. My favourite is Awakened State. That led my curiosity. Seemingly remembers that the two of us hate each other. Climbing his mouth shut. A secret. Well, just because he doesn't want to play along any longer doesn't mean my own fun is ended. Oh, I see. That one had a weak ending, but it was enjoyable on the whole. A respectable choice. Huh? Julie's eyebrows furrowed in a confused scowl. A Secret by Marianne Barrett. That is your favourite book, yes? What? No, you just made the book up. Absolutely did not, and I'll prove it to you. Now to make a short, whatever that word is, to prove my point. Turn to my own bedroom and pick up the book in question. Glad that my hoarding has paid off for once. When I get back, however, Julian is sound asleep, preventing me from lauding my victory over him. For now, at least. After he wakes up, I have to remember to show it to him. I'm sure they'll be irritated by it. Okay, that was a cute saying. I like that. Okay, let's say I felt lonely for this one. Putting it into words makes it sound even more pathetic than I already felt. So desperate for companionship that I let my worst enemy live in my house. The echo of a long dead voice laughs at me in my thoughts. Show him away as best as I can. This is not the time. Sure, let's go with you're just examining it this time. We should slowly get a better look at the knife he's scrutinizing. Very nice knife, excellent craftsmanship, with an ornate flowing design on the handle. This is the knife I was going to give him, and it became the knife I used to end his life. Recognize it anywhere. How did you find this? Oh, just lying around the foyer, a small table next to the chair you read in. Right. Maybe I'm a bit too obsessed with my own past. No reason for me to keep such a macabre reminder so near my person at all times. Yeah, looking at it weird. Go do whatever you're thinking of with it. Close the switchblade carefully before placing it in my hand. Feel the warmth of your skin and get inspired for the briefest moment. But sure it's not going to be a brief moment next time, eh? Strangely electrifying. Stands up as quickly as he can in his weakened state. I think I can catch a glimpse of something on his face. He must be seeing things. How strange. Right. I'm just going to say no, you're wrong. Wrong. He's definitely wrong. Why would I so definitely want to be with someone who barely tolerates me? Makes no sense. Why would I want? Yes or no? Julian doesn't know anything about me. Doesn't know what I was like as a human. Doesn't know how I was portrayed. Who knows is that I'm a vampire and a murderer. And for both our sakes, that is all he will ever know. I need to shut this down. I believe you have misunderstood me gravely. Have I? Is this? You're skeptical. Yes. Really? Really? Not so self-loathing as to want a man who would kill me given the chance. Could afford me. Do you want dinner or not? Fine, yes, but as soon as I can stay silent long enough to do the cooking myself. Now we get to the kitchen. Eating dinner is remarkably awkward. Okay, so that all led to the same ending. So, I'm gonna do why come to me, because the first option seemed to upset him. Ask what he needs, because that seemed to please him. Then choose I felt lonely. Okay, and you're just examining it. And then you select maybe. I can't help but wonder if one day that might no longer be the case. If only I don't have the heart to cast from my mind. That doesn't mean. No, don't bother. Okay, we kind of already read through all that. No, I had friends, family, a lover. But they deserved that word. A lover. Okay, this is definitely different. Julian looks back at me, gone in his ruminating stare, placed by a mischievous smile and a playful twinkle in his eye. Was as fun as you're thinking of. He's the reason why I am, well, a vampire. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. We grew up together, told him everything, trusted him with my life. Now that I started talking about him, I don't think I can stop. It was only natural that I fell in love with him. I thought he'd love me back. But he wanted everything from me. Including things I wasn't able to give. Turned out, eventually, he decided the ideal solution for both of us was to enthrall me. How does that benefit you? Thought I'd be happy if I weren't worried about making decisions. But I was never worried about that. So I never worried that he wouldn't accept the decisions I made. Which he didn't, so he tried to take away my ability to choose. But he failed. There was a new vampire who barely knew his powers. Decided me instead of enthralling me. Hell of a mistake to make. Not one he lived long enough to regret making. Well, that's something I can respect. Is it? It's the only person I killed that day. Julian knows that. The whole reason he's been pursuing me this long. Look at his face again. He's smiling at me. Not a smile of pity that one gives to someone they're trying to comfort. It's warm. Affectionate. Okay, did I do it right this time? Did I do good? A hand twitches next to me. I want to touch him, to run my fingers through his hair, to wrap my arms around him and hold him close. Oh, do it! Do it! I think of course. I'm going to bed. You can stop by if you like. Oh, I see. Good night. Good thing I interrupted my thoughts. I was getting carried away there. How long have I felt like that? Decided that I should take a walk outside and clear my head. Right. There is going to have a very slim chance of success, but I think that perhaps turn back or return home, I can only think that this is either the best idea I've had in my life or the worst. Perhaps both simultaneously. What's going to happen? Enter the manor feels like traveling a path I know. Okay. Yeah. Approach his bedroom, the guest room where he's staying. Perhaps there's no longer any distinction between the two. I knock on the door, there is no response. Julian, are you there? Opening the door slightly, I take a look inside. The bed is empty, as is the chair next to it, and the rest of the room too. One time I actually need to talk to you. Sign and look around the rest of the manor. Not in the foyer, or in the kitchen, or in the dining room, or the bath, or in any of the other guest bedrooms. Assuming he hasn't left entirely, that leaves only one room. My bedroom. When I enter my own bedroom, a wave of comfort washes over me. Everything here is familiar. My bed, my books, the decoration on the walls, and Julian too. Although I did expect him to be rummaging through my collection. Do you normally rifle through the belongings of strange men? Oh, but I doubt you normally tend to your enemy's mortal wounds, so I think we're even. Came up with the strangest equivalences. I consider it a gift. Why are you here? Translates my voice with anger, but it doesn't work. All I can manage to get out is genuine curiosity. This is the only part of the house I haven't explored yet, and doesn't respond to me immediately. Watch him pick up an old, long-stopped pocket watch. Open it, then close it again. Something told me that you wanted to see me. Is that so? Am I wrong? No. I guess my instincts haven't completely failed me then. Instincts? My brow furrows as I ask the question that comes to mind at this. Do these instincts tell you anything about why I wanted to see you? You're hungry. You need a feed. Turns around, facing me now, looking directly into my eyes. And you just so happen to be living with a human who could willingly offer his blood to you. Just because he could offer his blood doesn't mean he will. A fair point, but I will. Can't really believe what I'm hearing. Are you really going to let me drink from him just like that? Why? Jordan looks down at his own feet. You treated me more like a hero than anyone else has in a very long time. Not just like a human, like someone worthy of respect. Could have just killed me. Could have used me as a blood bag all this time. Could have enthralled me, forced me to do your will. But you haven't. I don't understand why you haven't, but I'm not going to refuse that kindness, or take it for granted. No, you don't have to do this. I know, but I want to. It'll be easier if you sit down. I lay Julian towards my bed. It's hardly an activity people normally do in one of these, but How will it feel? There'll be some pain in the beginning if you're conscious, but that it depends. Sensation is different for different people. For some, the pain simply disappears. For others, the pain becomes sharper and more intense. And some find it stimulating. Why do I get the feelings maybe I gotta be the latter? No way knowing which I am beforehand. Oh, I think I have a feeling I know which one it's gonna be. I'm afraid not. That's not bad. Taking gambles with worse odds. And lost some, I assume. Not always. Lockdown's still here, proves it. Actually, now I'm curious. How does it feel for you? Really feel from the one time, as far as I know. And it was a very unusual sensation. Don't think I could extrapolate much from it. No, I mean when you feed. Oh, well, there's nothing I need to do in order to survive. So you don't like it. I have no strong feelings about the sensation itself, I suppose. Neither especially pleasant, nor especially off-putting. Simply happens. Do much prefer when the other person I'm drinking from consents to the experience. Makes things much easier, compared to having to skulk around neighbourhoods at night. Although, what a willing subject presents their own dilemma. Huh? How so? Shouldn't that be an ideal situation for you? For some other vampires it might be, but not necessarily for me. When someone's aroused by having a vampire drink their blood, they tend to think of the act as, well, sexual. Expect me to reciprocate their desires. Want the feed to lead to intercourse. I don't. Whatever feelings and desires they have, I do not share them. I'm not an ideal partner in any sense. You understand, Julian? Even if you end up enjoying this, I cannot reciprocate. Now, you already told me you weren't interested in sex. I did, but sometimes, well, frequently, people don't understand. I think I'm perhaps simply scared of intimacy, or that I'm overstating my non-interest. I can imagine not being interested, so I must be wrong about my own feelings. It's hard to deal with. I'd rather feed off of someone who's unconscious than someone who thinks they know my mind better than I do. Neither is especially enjoyable, but at least someone who's asleep isn't going to try and argue with me. It's a silly reason for a human to try and pick a fight with a vampire, isn't it? As if you haven't picked fights with me for even worse reasons. At least I can give you a fair fight. The shame vampires have fast healing. Not fair that you give me scars, but I've never been able to do the same to you. Julian's offhand remark draws my eyes toward the scar on his lips. It isn't the only one I've given him. There are others elsewhere on his body that I remember inflicting. That's the only one that I can see without him being unclothed. Seems to notice the way I'm looking at him, and gives me a self-satisfied smirk. Not easy to read than you think you are, since there's clearly no need to hold back any longer. Always thought you were beautiful, like a painting by a masterful artist. Oh, I caught him off guard, face now a deep red. Well, you're not getting rid of me anytime soon. Are you sure? Do you want me to paint you like one of my French girls or something? Just without the sex part? And that's completely okay and valid. Do you mean, am I sure? Of course I'm sure. I thought you might be disappointed that sex isn't an option. No, can't possibly be disappointed because of that. I'm grateful to be alive. grateful to be here with you. Someone who treats me like an equal worthy of respect. In comparison, it feels like such a petty reason to be disappointed. Now come on, start drinking before I start crying. Honestly, same here. It'd be too embarrassing for the both of us otherwise. Alright, button a few buttons of your shirt. I can't get to your neck otherwise. It does, shrugging off the top half of his shirt. Giving me a good look at his freckles spotted shoulders. Place each of my hands on one of his shoulders. Shivers slightly. Damn, you're cold. I apologize. Don't. No, you can't help it. Voice is low and soft. A surprising comfort. It's such a strange situation to be in. Keep wondering if this is a dream I will have to wake up from soon. Even if it is, I don't want to waste any time. I lean in, placing my mouth near his skin. It's going to hurt. I'm sorry. If I can manage to convince myself to walk away from the situation, I can pierce my fangs into Julian's neck. I was in pain, I grimace from behind. Close my eyes and try to focus on my goal. I'm drinking just enough to stave away the hunger. Metallic taste of his blood. Anything I can ever taste other than ash spreads through my tongue. Wonder, does it taste better to me because there's truly something different about him? Or is that an effect of my affection towards him? Does it truly matter either way? One of my hands instinctively drops away from Julian's shoulder, down his arm, and finds his digging into his own thigh. Tension in it dissipates when my fingers touch his. Press my hand tightly, intertwining our fingers together. I open my eyes again. You can see just barely from my position that Julian's face is red. Squeeze his hand, he squeezes back. For too long, I can feel that I'm reaching the limit of what I can safely take from him. Pull away from him, wiping out lots of his blood dripping from the wound before healing it. Now that I'm focused completely on feeding, I can hear Julian's breathing deeply, but I'm not focused. His hand in mine is shaking slightly. Did I take too much? Try to sound calmer than I am. Thought I was being careful, but... No, just... fuck. No, you said you don't want to do that. Don't worry. I see. I was hoping you wouldn't have that reaction, but... I guess I have my own instincts and you kind of knew it was going to happen, but... Are you sure you're not disappointed? Of course I'm sure. Just give me a moment to calm down and had the blood to rush somewhere else, you know. Slowly his breathing begins to even out. How could I possibly be disappointed? Don't think I ever put it into words. Then don't. You need anything more than that. That's what you're worried about. Oh no, that isn't exactly true. Of course it isn't. Brace myself for whatever he is about to request. As we live in here, we have to get better food. Then, wait, what? Living here? As in permanently? Don't think you're going to be rid of me that easily, did you? Aww, that was such a abrupt ending. I wanted more. That was so cute. I love that. That was very cute. I loved the little romance at the end when he wasn't murdering me, you know. But yeah, also very valid for not wanting to have sex. You're allowed to have your own boundaries and your own things you want out of a relationship and not want and all that sort of stuff. You're very valid for having your own personal stuff. But yeah, overall, very enjoyable game. Very much loved it. Loved these two. Love everything. Very cute. But yeah, if you guys want to play this for yourself, I know there were a couple of other bad endings I didn't get, so Assuming one of them is probably just straight closely ignoring him, but I'll let you guys find that out for yourselves. As always, link will be down in the description below, and we will be moving on to the next game now.